Hello, my name's Tracey Finlay. I'm an engagement specialist and I work with businesses to teach them how to engage both their customers and their people effectively in really new and exciting ways. I've been working for and with different organisations in different sectors for a few decades now, and one thing that I keep coming across is a pattern of the same things that keep going wrong. And it's frustrating for everybody. And over the years, I've been thinking, okay, there's these things that keep going wrong. And I suffered them over the years as well. In years ago, I used to think, oh, stuff I'm not happy with and I don't know why. Now I know why, and now I know how to fix it. And the problem is that people don't realise that the things that have been hanging around for years, some of the things haven't changed an awful lot. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of those things, and that's the job description. Like CVs, they still have followed a very, very similar structure. The way they're written is similar, and the way that the process sits around them is similar. And there are some really wonderful entrepreneurial startups and really creative companies, usually young companies, that are really stepping outside of this now, but they are very few and far between. And I want to help everybody else who doesn't realise there's a better way of doing things. Now, there are a few things I want to address in this video regarding the job description. One of the things that often goes wrong is that a candidate can be really good at being the perfect person for an hour and a half in the interview, but actually 3 months down the line you realise that they're not that great to work with, they're not that creative, they can be a bit moody, and they're late all the time, etc, etc. So that's one of the things, is that somebody can blag it for an hour, and that's very easy unless you're really good at interviewing or you do psychometric testing, really good psychometric testing, and that's quite expensive. And actually my approach is not to do things necessarily in an expensive way. There are much cheaper ways of doing things. Here's one. And another problem is people take a job that they thought it was one particular type of job, and they get in their heads what it might be because it's not been made clear to them. And they get into that job and they realise it's not actually what they wanted. And thirdly, 3 months down the line, a big chunk of managers, too big a chunk of managers, really find it hard to have that difficult conversation to say, do you know what, you're not right for this role. They've not addressed it before, they get to 3 months down the line and they kind of might bottle it, which then means that either HR have to get involved later down the line in a bigger organisation, or so many businesses end up putting up with people who are actually second rate at that particular job. And then customers like me and you will go into a place and find that actually you've got a really bad experience and you judge that organisation based on that bad experience. So that's what I'm really going to address today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read you, I've designed a couple of job descriptions for an almost entry-level job. It's a receptionist, because I want to make it really simple, and I've written a shortened version of 2 job descriptions. One has been written in the more traditional way, and I want to talk about how that's used, and the other one's been written in a way that I think is much more engaging. So, traditional job descriptions for a receptionist. Your role: greet all customers in a professional manner, answer customer calls, respond to emails in a timely way, carry out other administrative duties as needed. Skills required: professional manner at all times, numerate with a strong command of spelling and grammar, on time, hard-working with a can-do attitude. Now, that job description will be written because they're hiring, and it will be given to the candidate, and then when they've hired, it'll be filed away until they need to hire again. That's the traditional way. Off you go, manager, go manage that person. And this is job description number 2. Now, this is what I'm suggesting will really, if you do this in the right way, and you really think about how to do this, what I'm giving you is the approach to think about. If you do this in a really good way, then you make the job of getting the right person 3 months down the line 100 times more easy. So, first of all, I'm going to read you the job description. I've called it Receptionist Job Description that'll make sure the person you thought you'd hired still exists 3 months later. Summary. You'll be one of the most important people in our company. Everything you do represents our brand, so you need to be really special. What this means is that every day, every single customer will feel the warmth of your welcome. Every person you come into contact with will know you really care. They'll feel valued by you. They will know that you'll do everything you can to help them because you do. You're naturally passionate about what you do. This means that you put things right in a way that helps everyone. You always look for the win-win. You've got a great smile and everybody sees it. Every customer will see it every time. Sorry, I stuck that in, got a bit carried away. And of course, you're good with numbers and great at spelling and grammar. You never spell your in the wrong way, and the apostrophe police will never catch you out. So there's lots more can be put in there. That gives you a flavour of what a job description could sound like. Now, it's important for me to say I've written that job description in a much more engaging way, which will inspire people to act in a particular way, but it'll also give them a vision of how they need to be. They'll naturally feel how they need to be. I've written it very much in based on outcomes, not skills, not tasks. You can stick all that at the bottom because I know HR do love you to put all your tasks at the bottom so that there are no issues with somebody that wants to cause any problems later on down the line. You should have got rid of them by then because you can spot them. So I've written it in a way that it's outcome based. This is the best person you could possibly be if you are right in this role. So that's point number one. The next thing is that this job description does not get filed at the point of hire. So what happens is that you use this job description in the hiring process. When you've chosen your preferred candidate, you tell them at the point you offer them the job that the job description, and you can send it to them again, or you can read it out to them. This job description will be living and breathing for at least the first 3 months and beyond. But what will happen during those first 3 months is that the hiring manager will meet up with them weekly and they will compare what they're seeing as an output of your work to that job description. And they will address where there's any differences, any shortcomings, and they will coach you through it. And so that can happen weekly, then fortnightly, then monthly, just for the first 3 months to really embed the person you need to be. And it may be somebody's amazing. So actually, 1 month down the line, you're just like, oh my God, you've absolutely nailed it. We just grow you from here. So not only does that make it very clear to the candidate what's expected of them, and it also makes it very clear to them what the process is going to be. And what that does is that makes the hiring manager's job so much easier because they are also instructed to go through that process so that you never get 3 months down the line and find that person, you just end up making do with that person, or it just goes crazy because that person had no idea that they were doing such a bad job, which is another thing I see all the time. Reinvent your job description, make it work for you, and never regret a hire again.